right, welcome back. We are here with Sean and Spencer Sticek, co-founders of WolfPak Clothing.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much for coming on. I really appreciate it. Really appreciate your time and your busy schedule.
Thank you for having us.
Of course.
You guys want to tell us a little bit about yourself in general? Any of you guys can start first, whoever wants to.
Yeah, I'll tackle that one first.
Go ahead.
So I met you guys. I graduated right when you guys were coming in, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm Spencer. I'm 24. I graduated Hilbert in 2017 with sports industry management, and got my master's degree through St. Bonaventure. Graduating in 18. I'm more of the business side aspect of the business, and let's see what else. What do you want? Like a hobby, favorite ice cream?
Yeah, like what do you do? What do you do on your free time outside of the business? We'll get more into the business throughout the podcast. What do you do on the side, like just in your free time?
So right now I've been getting into golfing more, just to fine tune that. So it's the only sport I can really do anymore. That and bowling.
Yeah.
I collect sports memorabilia, and I play Fortnite again.
Nice.
Go ahead, Sean.
My name is Sean. I'm 26 years old, 26 years young.
I hear that.
Yeah, just loving life, enjoying life, stay active. WolfPak keeps me pretty busy. So I currently work in human services as a housing case manager for my 9 to 5 and then involved in a lot of other side projects, WolfPak being the main ones. So, and I'm excited to be here.
Good.
Yeah. Well, again, I appreciate you.
I should probably notice. My main job is not WolfPak. I probably should mention that. My main job, I'm a workers' compensation professional.
Gotcha.
That's awesome.
You don't have to mention it, but I feel like that is how we are identified at this this stage.
So, when did you guys actually start? When did you guys start WolfPak, and how did you decide that's something you really want to take on? Because obviously it's like a bunch of work, a lot of work.
Yeah. So we started back in 2015 when Sean was a senior at Hilbert and I was a sophomore.
Yeah.
And just we wanted to do something together. And we've always been about making things happen instead of just talking about it. Kind of like you guys doing this podcast. Like you guys talked about it and then you wanted to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So we met up on campus and what can we do? We decided on a hat company because we're very passionate with hats. We have a large hat collection. And then we found out hats are expensive. So we made more shirts and tank tops to make money, to make more hats. And we kind of launched in the summer of 2015 and been going strong since.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So, Spencer, you said you were a sports management major in college, and I know that's pretty much a business degree. Like, you take a lot of business classes.
There's really only a 3-class difference.
Yeah. So, did that play a big role in you wanting to starting the business?
Honestly, no. It was totally irrelevant to it.
Yeah.
I was a business major because I felt like that was what fit me the best, but it had nothing to do with our decision of making a business together.
Good to know. So, obviously, you guys are brothers, and you said, so how is it being in business with each other? Like, good experience overall, I would assume?
It's taxing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's very taxing to go, when you're in business with anyone, because that, I feel like the business relationship in general is more consistent with stress and timelines and action plans as opposed to celebration,
Right.
and this and that. So we do have a good time with it and all that, but it is a taxing thing. We were talking about it earlier that so we're best friends too, but every time that we are on the phone, we talk on the phone every day, and it's basically about WolfPak the entire time.
Yeah.
So and we were also saying we don't think we could be doing it with anyone else either, because there's so much there's things there's things that are so stressful, and it's almost like in order to be able to endure it with someone, it has to be family, because like
Yeah.
it would just be too high tension if it wasn't. You wouldn't be able to recover from like certain things said or certain things done or
It's
whatever.
interesting because like you'll see TV shows and movies and stuff, and they always tell you don't get in business with family.
Yeah.
They always say that. But if Sean wasn't my brother, I feel like I would have ended this partnership already a couple times. But we get over things pretty quickly, and we know how each other think more than anyone else in this world. So we
I feel, I feel like
check each other.
I feel like
Yeah,
That's
another
interesting.
interesting element is I'm always like driving him nuts. And if it was like like he alluded to, if it was like anyone but me, he probably would have been out a lot. But like, so it's like
Yeah.
pretty taxing, but it's also a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
it's good to have that comfort barrier. I feel like, because like you guys were saying, some things need to be said, even though they may not like it. But if they're said, and you guys can both get over that and build off each other, that's only going to help the business in the future in general.
And it just helps with overall with exposure with each other. Like if say with like you guys in a business and you're in Syracuse quarantined and he's in Buffalo, it's kind of hard to run a business together from a distance. Even though we've done that before too when Sean lived in Delaware, but it's so much easier when we know each other's schedules and we know where each other live easily, and we just have that closer connection like that.
Yeah, that's interesting that you bring that up because Jordan and I are roommates at college, and this upcoming semester we literally have the exact same schedule, like with baseball and with classes. So we were saying like
We're
there's not
taking
going to be a time where we leave the apartment without each other, pretty
Yeah, and
much.
now you don't have an excuse because he knows your schedule.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what
So
we were saying.
you
That's what we
better
were.
you're gonna know where each other are in all your free time too.
yeah,
Yep.
That's interesting, like alignment that you're putting us into that, because like I feel like our location and our schedule is completely irrelevant to the efficiency of what we do.
Not
yeah,
anymore, but it was in the beginning.
It was in the beginning, it was, yeah. But
We've
at this point,
adjusted
everything we do is pretty much like distanced right now, anyways.
hmm
yeah. Well, that's how the whole world is too. Everyone's learning to be more virtual and more work efficiently like that instead of being in person.
hmm For sure.
Yeah, which I think is an efficient um move, I guess I should say, like efficient
Mhm.
direction that we're heading in, and once we work out the kinks of that.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like very like way I look at it, one of my biggest pet peeves is being in a pointless meeting,
Oh
or
yeah.
leaving a meeting that I feel like was pointless.
Yeah.
Like if there's not like food there, it's probably an email. Like
Yeah.
9 times out of 10 anyway. So like the virtual world is kind of like really showing us like we are getting together for like not maximizing time and
Yeah.
not in the most efficient way. Like I mean, how many businesses are maintaining or doing even better right now virtually than they were getting together, and there's
There's
I think
doing
I
that.
guess like the point is quarantine and where all that stuff isn't. That's not like the formula, but I think like the pro of it is like it's taught us that maybe our balance was off, and like the idea of a 40-hour work week, or like the even more importantly probably like kids in school. The idea of how much like we're spending our time in these institutionalized places is absolutely ridiculous. And I hope that like there was some like takeaway from the quarantine that like, hey, let's balance this out a little bit. Like we don't need to be at
Right.
work 40 hours a week, 5 days a week, sort of thing.
Yeah. That's an
It's not
interesting
needed.
perspective
It's
for sure.
literally
Right.
not needed, and it's been proven. We
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
know who's essential, who's not. So
Yeah.
Exactly. And
let's keep it in mind moving forward.
exactly. And I feel like definitely where you're coming from, like in the future, I feel like businesses can definitely take from this and say, hey, listen, instead of having, people come in on the weekend if they need to do an important meeting or closing to get a deal done that needs to be done by Monday, like, why can't we have a Zoom call? Because they could do the same thing we're doing right now, and the same information still gets across. And it saves travel cost, it saves time, it saves, all that kind of thing.
Time more than anything.
The only thing is, the scary part is, like, not everyone can adapt that way, just like everyone learns in a different way. Like in school, I could not do an online class. I do not have the capacity to do it, but we just kind of got thrusted into this. Like, I didn't even want to work from home.
Balance is the key of it, for sure. Like,
people might not be
you
able
went
to
from one extreme to another extreme.
Yeah.
That was like the whole thing, like spending too much time in the office to no time in the office to, like, we can find a easy balance in there.
Right, a happy medium.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. That's a good perspective, though, because everyone's all like, oh, like, quarantine sucks, but, like, I feel like you guys have a different idea of what we can take away from this.
It's just been an excuse not to go to the gym.
Yeah.
I hear you on that.
I'd like to get back to one thing you guys said about being in business as brothers. Like, I think, Spencer, you touched on it, where, like, people are always like, oh, don't go into business with family. I think that's really interesting that you guys say, like, you wouldn't be able to do it any other way.
Well, if we owed each other money, we know where each other are. We're getting that money.
Yeah.
I would comment on that and say, like, I've thought about who I would go into business with, and I would be very, very, very exclusive on, like, if I were to do another brand or to create something like that, it would only be maybe like 1 to 2 people max that I would do it with. Yeah. That's basically what I've learned.
Yeah.
But I consider them family pretty much anyway. They're not.
You don't want the relationship to strain over a business, and being brothers is a relationship that can't be broken.
Yeah.
So being best friends, you get into business, you could end up not being best friends,
Yeah.
Especially in our situation, when we're not living off of it, we're not, like, profiting like that off of it. So, like, if it was our day-to-day, that would increase the tension, but it would also increase, like, the energy and demand to, like, okay, we each have a common goal, and, like, if it doesn't get done, we're not going to eat, sort of thing. So, like, now, like, we're just kind of, like, feeling that stress and tension at times to make it all happen just for, like, the build, just for the journey, like, and, like, there's definite satisfaction and all of it, and all of that, but just that part makes it even more stressful, because, like, I'm, if I'm stressing him out over something, like, for what, you have to really like love it and really, appreciate that journey aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I mean, you gotta, like, be super passionate about what you're doing, I feel like, to be successful, because it's so much work, so many trials and tribulations and ups and downs that you have to get through, and you have to be so passionate and really want it. You know what I mean? You gotta eat shit and do everything like that to get to where you want to be.
Pretty much, yeah.
I like that, though. So obviously, from just the conversations that we've had so far, running WolfPak takes, like, a lot of work and effort, both on, like, the business side and, like, the whole marketing aspect, building your own brand and everything like that. So are you guys pretty, like, routine oriented to keep you guys, like, on track? Or I guess, like, what does a normal day look like managing everything that you guys do?
Pretty around the clock if you want it to be, because it's just nothing. There's never, like, not a moment to do. So like, by this point, this stage of the game, we have it pretty well figured out, where he handles his duties, I handle mine. If I feel like, or one of us feels like we need to delegate a task or to handle something specifically, Spencer stays on me about getting certain things done. I stay on him about getting certain things done. But the way it's picked up right now, I don't know exactly what your days and nights look like, but it's pretty around the clock, just in some capacity, in some facets.
So insight is, like, when we have a product collection that we want to come out with, it takes a couple months for that collection. and we're already working on the next collection while the first collection's in process. So you're always thinking of what we're going to do next, and that kind of never ends.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
when Sean will text me like, "Hey, do you have the design idea for this? Get on it." And that would be like
Yeah.
a never text, like it didn't nothing changed yesterday, but I gotta keep thinking about it. It's a reminder.
Yeah, it is. It is pretty. There's definitely some routine involved in it. If I had to, if you have a more specific question, hit me with it. I'm trying my best to get down to it. But like I would say like we could pretty healthy, like in a healthy way. We could probably have like 4 or 5 interns
Yeah.
at a given time and give them all like enough work.
Right.
And that was another thing. We did have interns before too.
Yeah.
We would be thriving in that situation as opposed to go like continuing. We'd be thriving for sure. But
Our accredited internship at Fredonia State.
Oh, nice.
So
Yeah.
that's a good thing to know, like about your guys' business, what you guys were just talking about with the collection. Like, not only do you have one in process, but you're already starting the second one. So
You
like,
absolutely have to.
so when that's what I'm saying, because like, I mean, I obviously know it takes a process to get that going, get the materials and the design and all that stuff, but you never know really how long. And the fact that you guys have one in process and you're going to be like, hey, boom, here's the collection. People are going to buy it. Little do they know you have another one in process and then you're already working on another one. Like, it's like you already have stuff piled up, but you have to keep working on it because it takes so long. And
Everything in life is about timing.
yeah.
You might be the perfect candidate for a job, but if you don't apply at the right time, you might not get it. Timing is literally everything, and that's what stresses me out a lot with WolfPak. Is if we have like a fall line and we don't hit it right before fall, then I'm nervous about selling that out.
What?
And then
What's the stress? What's the stress about that?
You know,
I don't
it's
know.
like-
Why do you feel that?
Why
We completely create our own situation to the fullest. We have no retail deadlines. No one telling us anything.
Just
We
an
completely
internal-
create our own shit.
It's an internal time anxiety thing.
I understand where you're coming from, Sean, and I understand where you're coming from too, Spencer. You're right. There is no deadline. You guys are working at your own pace. You're still getting the job done, but that's also good that you want to drop it like that. Because listen, like those brands like Supreme, all them, they only drop theirs right before fall, and they drop 4 or 5 collections, and that's it. And like if you're trying to hit that deadline, you want to get it just before fall, then you hit that deadline. That's a goal that you set in your head, and make sure that you have that design and collection ready.
I just think like if we make tank tops and we're delaying and lollygagging around, and then we have them ready and it's October, like shit, all our Western New York friends aren't gonna buy them now.
That to me is just you missed.
But another thing is like what times I'm getting these products out and the collections ready ahead of time is I want our website to always have something to offer. So every time we get new followers on social media, they're going to look at our website and see what we have. If we have 2 products on there and everything's sold out, they're going to be like, oh, so I'm not getting anything, and they probably won't look back. They probably won't go back.
Yeah.
I think that's very unhopeful.
It is. But
I would love to think they're gonna come back. However, I was.
In my opinion, when I go see something sold out, this is how I think, and I think, wow, it's sold out. Good product. They like it. I'm gonna come back in a week or 2, or even a month.
See, that's a prime customer, but I wish everyone thought that way.
I think most people do.
Most people honestly do, because
Yeah.
if like, especially, I mean, it's hard to think of a brand that does that, because like you can't really say Nike. Nike sometimes sells out of things, but when I go on Nike, if I'm like, oh, I want to get these new shorts that just came out, compression shorts or something, and they're sold out, I'm like, okay, I'll go back in a week, and then they got them. Like that, I feel like especially customers that like your brand, if they see it sold out, they're like, shit, I got to keep up on the drops, because everybody's hopping on the drops.
That's also something that we try to gear towards, because everything we drop is limited edition.
Exactly.
So
That's
everything we
Well,
drop.
then with that being the reality, you have to fall in love with that business model. You have to fall asleep at night being very okay with people going to your website and it being sold out. You built that model. You got to sleep in that bed now. So like,
Yeah.
you have to find that appreciation.
Out again. I want that product to keep flowing.
And yeah, and that's the fun part. That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was gonna piggyback off something you were just saying earlier about like staying ahead. So to put into perspective, this probably isn't that far off in a guess. If throwing a collection out, like getting it released, it probably is like a 30-step process.
Yeah.
Probably, so if there's 30 steps in it and you're like working on 3 to 4 collections at one time, but also like physically working on it and then brainstorming for like some things in the second half of the year and then like some like side like content pieces or something goes wrong in one of those steps, which is not an absolute guarantee it will. So it's like that can be very overwhelming when you're on step 17 and then all of a sudden you get caught right there and then you can't you can't put all of your time and energy into it because your other thing is in step 25 and you got to figure it out and finish that one and like just to keep it all going is like the wild challenge part of it, and that's probably how much is involved in it.
Definitely. I'd like to go back to, like you said, building that business model where, like, they say they go to your website and it's sold out. But, like, when I go to, like, a website, like, I remember I went to, like, Antisocial Social Club's website, and everything was sold out. Like, there was not a product available. And I was like, oh, okay, like, let me hit them up on Twitter and see when their next drop is. So I feel like building your brand with that, like, having a presence on social media and other things besides your website is so important. Because, like, if you can be super active on those, if they go to your website and are super interested in your stuff, but it's all sold out, they're going to hit you up on social media, follow you, turn post notifications on to make sure they don't miss your next drop.
Yeah, we're very vigilant on staying active.
Yeah, I've noticed that,
We
definitely.
call each other if we don't post in a couple days. We're like, yo, we need a post. We
Yeah.
need to post out.
That's always good. That's always good to post because, especially me being, a follower of multiple companies and things like that, when they post, it's like, hey, they're still on their toes. They're not sleeping, and they want their followers, their customers, whoever. They want them to know that they're still active and still getting this done. And that's something coming.
You want to know it's kind of a funny flip side to that notion is that would be the common perception, but I would tell you that the quieter we are, definitely the
more you're
busier
moving.
we are. All the time. Like if we're posting like regularly, it's probably because things have calmed down a little bit. Might be like the calm before the storm, something's about to happen. Like and then usually, if we're been off anything for 3 or 4 days, we're probably about to drop.
Yeah. That's interesting, though. That's interesting to hear your perspective from that, too.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Because
That's just us, like that's I'm in charge of a lot of like the at least Instagram posting and like how we're gonna conduct that. So at least that's just my own personal habit,
Yeah.
But like usually quietness is where we're brewing, we're cooking up something.
Yeah. That's awesome, though.
We have we had a photo shoot this weekend that I'm super excited to share with you guys soon. It's gonna be
A little exclusive, a little exclusive.
there's a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be quite a bit.
Wow,
A
I'm
lot of
excited to
different
hear about
products, a
that.
lot of different content. We'll probably be posting pictures from this shoot for like the next 6 to 8 months. And
Honestly, photo shoots are probably the most fun part of this whole aspect. I love getting the photo shoots and setting up and meeting these people. Sometimes we meet these models for the first time at the photo shoot. So it's like we're making friends and we're creating a good vibe. It's always a great time with Tommy behind the lens. Tommy's a great time, and our OG hammerman Joey Connie was a great time. He's just super busy now too, but we just have a great time.
That's awesome, though.
That's awesome.
So, speaking about like building brand and building everything like that, and like I follow you guys Twitter and everything like that, and WolfPak seems to have like a pretty strong message behind it, something that I can personally get behind. So like, can you speak on the importance of having that message to send throughout your clothing company?
Yeah. Most definitely. I mean, I think what we're really doing is trying to share our story and share our journey to the best of our ability, and then the products are just kind of
The merch for
a
that?
part of that. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
So
It's
the
like
pub-
that's really kind of the outlook. You know,
yeah,
the products are a lot of work, and that's the fun project part of it. But we're really just trying to our entire message, I would say, is genuine interaction and just like trying to be as authentic as possible
yeah,
and just be transparent in that. Really, really just like we put a lot of ourselves into the brand. We put a lot of just think authenticity that we want to see into things into it, and I think that message really comes across. We don't really
oh,
go
definitely,
too heavily in depth into any one topic. They all just kind of revolve around growth and improvement and appreciating the journey,
And
yeah,
we're
and
all
all these
about
things kind of
encouraging.
tie it together. So
We like
hmm
encouraging others to follow their dreams too and their ideas. So when
yeah,
people would message me once in a while like, "Hey, I'm thinking about starting a brand or I have a brand that just launched," and we'll hop on a phone call and just talk to them. Yeah, this
yeah,
is what we learned through our mistakes. This is what I suggest you go through. I've had a call with a kid and I think he was in like Austria. I had
hmm
no idea. I had some weird number popped up on my phone after I gave him my number. He was in a foreign country and just talked to this 15-year-old about starting a brand. Like,
that's
it,
awesome. I
that's
it's
awesome.
it.
That just goes to show, like, you never know, like, where in the world, when, and who is gonna you're gonna inspire. Whether it be your brand's popping or whether it's not. You're still putting the effort and the heart into it, and people see that.
And
Like,
some people that have clothing companies are going to be like, "Nah, I'm not going to tell you my secrets. Like, I don't want you to know the same plugs, the same connects. I don't
yeah,
want you to try." Well, we're the complete opposite. If
yeah,
someone's genuine and really wants to do something, and we can feel those vibes, we're going to go out and help you, and we might even collab with you or do something to help you exposure.
yeah,
well, that ties into like what Sean was just saying about like the message being like being real, being transparent. Like you guys are sending that message and you're living it too. Like doing that, like just you saying
That's
that is incredible to me. You know what I
too.
mean?
Like if we meet someone who's a photographer and we like Tommy and we know someone else needs a photographer, we refer
Yeah,
them over there. And that goes
right.
for almost anything, graphic designers, literally anything. You tell us a passion, and if I remember that, I'm gonna refer you to someone who's looking for it, even if it has
Yeah,
nothing to do with Wolfpack at all.
mm,
right.
We all
That's
eat.
that's big for
Once you
sure.
get to a point in anything you're doing, if you're relaying a message, no matter what it is, if you're making music, if you're designing logos, if you're really passionate about just walking around and handing out free pins to people or whatever it is that you're doing, if you have
hmm
a message that resonates with you and it's more than up here and it's in your heart, someone's definitely going to be attracted to it, and someone is going to reciprocate that energy all of the
Yeah,
time. So I think kind of what you were asking about, like the importance of, I don't know if you're asking about our message in general or
yeah,
messages and selling a message in general, I guess, but like the important part of it all really comes down to like the more authentic you can be yourself in whatever it
yeah,
is that you're selling or whatever service you're offering or whatever interaction you're having. It's definitely going to lead to a much more positive outcomes for your brand, your company, your life,
yeah,
all of those things. So I mean, they're really the driving force behind everything, that all the decisions we all make all the time.
yeah. No, I love that. I think that's good advice for anything. Like you said, whatever business you're building, whatever you're doing in life, you know what I mean? Just be real about it, be transparent, and you know, back up the words that you're saying. Is what I'm trying to say.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
So, kind of moving forward, I get that, like, obviously right off the bat, that like entrepreneurial spirit from the both of you guys. and that's something I could admire from anybody. Can you describe like the grind, like how you guys have hustled to where you have been now, and like the times it's been tough to do so? So like when you're at college and all your friends are going out, but like, oh no, like I'm gonna stay in and because I got work to do, or like an instance like that.
I'll take the hardship route here. More of the beginning stages
Mm-hmm.
when we were starting. I didn't have money, like I was
Yeah.
college, I did a part-time job while trying to do college. I started grad school. So I couldn't really put a lot of my money into this. And we
Yeah.
had to put our money into this in the beginning of like we had no other funding. So that would be like a hardship. Sean was still a young professional just starting his life. So the financial part was extremely hard in the beginning to get through. We had to
Yeah.
make products and we had to have support to be able to make money to be able to do what we wanted to do now.
Yeah.
But,
Well, I
That was
think
a that was a great point. That I can comment on that. That was a really difficult time, for
yeah.
we
sure.
we made these one hats. The head. So Sean's also an artist,
Hmm.
and he made music, and he's gonna have a comeback here too. But
Hey.
we made these hats for the like this rap group he had, and
Mm-hmm.
they turned out like bad. Like I did not like the way they looked. We couldn't sell them, and we put a lot of money into it. And it was like, is this gonna sink us in the beginning already? It
Yeah.
was like one of the first things that we learned about. We got to have all our eyes on everything that we put our money in. We didn't
Yeah.
even design the hat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Those stumbles in the beginning were crucial for
there
sure. They
could
were
have
helpful.
been one time like if we ordered too much and put too much money in, and it turned out like dog shit with no support, we could have been over in a couple months.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're very fortunate to have gotten by that stage. But I think that was a really good route. I think you took. I like where you took that answer to his question. I guess because looking back on that, that was definitely stressful. And like now we're older and like if we want to put a little bit more money into it, we have that option to. You
Yeah.
know. But
Mhm.
like then it's like you're really like in the mirror like how what's my decision gonna be right now? Like I don't have a lot of extra money, and where is it gonna go? And like
Yeah.
when you choose to put it into the brand, it definitely gives a lot of self confidence to what you're doing and investment. I'm like a ginormous invest in yourself kind of person, so those
Mm-hmm.
decisions have come easier and
It's
easier
what
over
made
time.
me have to do it. Like right when you were trying to talk me into all this, I had to part ways with my money, and I'm pretty hard headed with that. I like my money,
Yeah.
and so I did the math in near the beginning. And when we were first started, before we sold a hat, I think we combined for like $1,500 into this.
No,
I'm close to that.
no. I mean, maybe we. Yeah, I remember doing those calculations. I thought it was less than that.
Not by much. Then,
It
like we
probably
did
isn't that
a
far off.
lot of hats. We did some shirts. We did some designs. Luckily, we had a friend with photography that didn't charge
Well,
us.
we started profiting. Maybe you're right. We started or getting our money back before we dropped those hats. So it's like our
Yeah.
initial investment I think was somewhere around $800 before we ever got a dollar back, which I think is pretty lucky. We're pretty fortunate that it was. It's
That's
not bad.
Yeah.
that's
That's not bad at all.
Yeah, we
you
had a lot
guys.
of breaks go our way to get it that okay.
I
No doubt.
Yeah,
I
you
was
guys took that. You guys
t- kind of a side
took
note
that
to what
risk.
you were saying, but not really. And it touches on like doing things with your heart and having that genuine message and that hustle and dedication. People all the time to me. So I have a WolfPak tattoo on my leg, and people, and even Spencer, but people all the time are like, "Yo, like that's so crazy you got that," and I'm thinking to myself like, "What?" Like what would be like someone explain to me why that would even like to me it was like an absolute like no brainer like I was like
Yeah.
never thought about it for like 1 second. I'm like I put all this time and energy and like money into something and I wouldn't get it
so
tatted on my skin like I guess it depends how you view tattoos but like if you're not in love with something enough to get it tattooed on you after a few years you should definitely ask questions I guess. And to me, it's like you have to really like fall in love with that process to that point too, in order to like enjoy or endure through the difficult situations.
Right.
So the
And I don't.
thing, you guys didn't fold when that hit you right off the bat. Because some people would be like, "Wow, dude, like fuck this. I just put in money and I got nothing back. I got a couple shit packages. You know, I ordered like you guys said. You guys put all the money in the hats. And if some people would open them and be like, "Wow, these are shit. What are we supposed to do? Ah, fuck it." But like you guys powered through that. Now look at you guys. Like the brand's bigger. The social media is there. You guys are working on collections. Like it's just once you get over those bumps in the road, you can get to the end.
We've had batches still that will get like 25, 30 shirts and they're not sellable.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, that did happen one time last year, yeah.
We've had it a couple of times, but we just have to eat it at that point, and we can do that now. So that's a lot better.
Yeah, your guys' brand has definitely grown to places maybe you guys haven't even thought it would in the beginning. And then kind of segueing into my next little point here, you guys had a couple really cool interviews. Like I watched a lot of your videos on YouTube and everything, and one of the cool interviews that I thought was awesome was Mark Battles. So I'd like to know the story behind like your relationship with Mark and like how you guys met Mark Battles.
Love Mark.
Yeah.
So,
Battles is our guy. The way that started is very interesting and very unique situation. So
I figured there was a story there.
Spence can give you the first part pretty well.
One of my roles with WolfPak is I'm the pro athlete liaison, but I'm more the like notable people liaison. Like my job is to contact them and try to make the relationships and networks with these people. So I pulled up his accounts. I have the old DMs from him.
Yeah.
And he's really a really, really brilliant man, Mark Battles is. I tweeted at him one time saying like Buffalo. Like he's like I said Buffalo. Yeah. And then he messaged me back on 4/21 of 2015 at 5:18 in the morning. It's random. First message. I never even sent him a DM before. He said, "Ready for the show tonight?" I said, "Man, I can't make it, but kill it." And he's like, "Why wouldn't you make it?" He's like, "I play college baseball, man. I got a busy schedule. I can't make it." Well, he didn't forget that I was from Buffalo. He remembered, and he messaged me again on 7/31. He's like, "Yo, can you make it this time?" And even then, it's like, "Sorry, man. Like, I can't make this one either. Like, I'm gonna have to catch up with you sometime." And we saw that he was coming back in 2016. So I sent him a message like, "Hey, we're coming to Niagara Falls. That's close to us. Want to link up for an interview?" And he said, yeah, we can make that happen. So I ended up getting his email. His email didn't respond very well, so he ended up giving me his phone number. So we started talking to make sure we coordinated. And that was the first time we did 2 interviews with Mark. So we interviewed him, and then the second time I hit him on the DM like, "Yo, second round?" He's like, "Yeah, dude, let's go to the Galleria. Let's get wings. We could do like a walk and talk." We never ended up doing that, but we ended up meeting there and doing it on his tour bus. Yeah. And I asked him like, "So how did you remember that we were from Buffalo? Like you messaged me out of the blue remembering that I'm from Buffalo and you have 200,000 followers." He's like, "I don't remember people from big areas. Like if I'm doing a show in Indianapolis, I'm not going to know any of them people." Yeah. But like Buffalo, and you're such a niche area where we have shows of 50 people, the people that stand out in those small areas, I'll always remember. Yeah. So because we're from Buffalo and the area, I'm just one of his like 10 Buffalo guys that he just will always know and always hit up when the shows start.
That's awesome.
He gives us the free tickets to the shows and we help get people there.
That's awesome.
That's super cool.
But Sean got the pleasure to talk to him for a long time, with the interview, so he really got to get to know him.
Yeah. That's dope, though. What was it like to just chill with him, like on his tour bus when you guys were off camera?
See, we were kind of nervous about it too because he did his meet and greet on the tour bus while we were doing the interview. So we're like, we wanted to do it before the show. Like we didn't want to impede on these other people.
He didn't do a meet. That's not quite accurate. He didn't do a meet and greet.
Yeah,
he did a meet and greet before the show. We met up with him after the show, and he brought a couple people onto the bus with him as well.
He sold VIP passes for the meet and greet on the bus.
Oh, nice.
So those people just got to sit there and watch us do an interview the whole time, and I felt like we were kind of taking something away from them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they got to be on the bus longer than they probably would have been, and got to know him a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really cool vibe. We were in there. He gave us his energy drink that he didn't release yet, and
Yeah.
really cool vibes. What would you say, Sean?
Those were not meet and greets. Those were groupies. With all due respect to those fine ladies.
So,
Yeah, it's so funny.
But, no, it was a super dope vibe for everything he just said, though. Yeah, the exclusive on the energy drink was pretty lit.
That's awesome, though.
It was pretty dope. All their people are super good people, though.
but the really cool moment was at the end. He just turns to us. He's like, "Dude, I don't even do interviews.
Yeah.
But you guys are my dogs."
He's like, yo, this content is fire. He's like, this is gonna be good.
I watched the YouTube video just a couple days ago, and I do remember saying that. He goes, "Yo, this interview is fire," and I was like, "That's awesome."
That was cool. That was cool that he had the mindfulness to have that appreciation too.
Yeah.
I've not seen an artist love his fans more than Mark.
Yeah.
Like throughout the show, he's like, "Give me some love, and they go to war for battles, man.
Well, I think he, like, I've seen the first time I actually like got into Mark Battles, listening to his music and stuff was I don't know exact date, but it was a while ago. And I remember I looked at his social media, and he didn't have like too many followers. He was still building, he had like probably almost 100K. But what I noticed is that whether it was retweet, a tweet reply, liking, he was on all of his fans' like tweets. Someone would tweet, be like, "Oh my God, Mark Battles dropped this song." Or when he dropped that video of his song, there was probably 100 people who quoted it and was like, "This song's unreal. This song touched me. This song's this," and he responded to every single one.
Did you watch our original interview of Mark?
I did not. I watched the second one. I did not watch the original one.
In the original one, we brought that up to him. We're just like, "That's crazy that you do that. It's awesome." Like, he's like, "Let me give you a little insight. All the big names, they see everything." He's like, "Drake be on his phone. He sees your tweet, but he ain't gonna give you the time of day to like it." And he's like, "That's what I'm gonna do." He's like, "I'm gonna resonate with my fans. We're all family. Without you guys, I wouldn't be here." He's like, "All the big names, they see it. They all see it. They just don't interact like he does."
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "I'm in the room with Drake." He's like, "I know he sees your tweets."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The baby sees tweets too. He liked my tweet. That's funny.
I feel like that's key when you're at like Mark Battles level, like interacting with your fans. They're gonna feel like they know you on a more personal level than just listening to your music that you broadcast to everyone. Like if you interact, even if it's just a like on Twitter, like they're like, "Wow, like he actually like acknowledged that I was talking to him, or like that I had something to say and that he liked it." You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yep.
I feel like
think about how medial of a task that is to like a tweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not that hard. It's really not that hard. And like what I've noticed is, I mean, on his level, obviously it's much a bigger scale, but what I've noticed is, and you guys might know, I do TikTok a lot. I do it very hardcore. And like I'm passionate about that shit. I love it. And what I've noticed is every time someone comments on my videos, no matter how many comments are or not, I always like and I respond with something. Whether it be a couple emojis, whether it be me saying appreciate you, this and that. And since I've done that, it seems like the community that is involved with me has grown. Not so much looking at the follower number, but everybody's engaging more with me because I'm engaging more with them.
See, Sean and I are big on that with engagement, and I can see the other side though. Like with Jose Batista on Twitter, he follows everybody. So when you say Jose Batista followed you, we're like, is that really that cool now? But if Drake liked everyone's tweet and you got Drake to like your tweet, you're like, is it really that cool now?
Yeah.
But if your tweet now, like the baby liked your tweet now, it means so much more how exclusive it is.
Yeah.
But I like the other side when you're like a Mark Battles, if you're engaging with everybody, because then you can really feel a part of your favorite artist. And you can feel like you're actually homies with them.
Right.
You can't be in the middle ground, I don't think. You got to be one or the other.
Yeah.
That middle ground, if you interact here and there and you're just kind of a tease, I don't know. Like, that doesn't do it for me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, and then like when you hear like one of Mark Ballow's songs, you're like, "Yo, that's my boy." Like even if you don't really know him, like you feel like you do.
Yeah.
We're at a point now. I have a whole playlist on Spotify of people that I have connections with, like
Yeah,
people
that's awesome. I mean,
interviewed or have features on with our friends or something.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's awesome. One thing I wanted to stay with music for a little bit because I know you guys are like pretty into that stuff. Who are you guys into right now? Just as a little like side thing.
I listen to a lot of different things. I'd say the first couple artists that come to my head are like Oliver Tree. I'm pretty big into him. I listen to Mac Miller quite often. I'll go right into my Spotify because that's the most genuine way to do it.
Yeah.
Wiz Khalifa's new tape he dropped on 420. I've been banging that pretty heavy. Jack Harlow. I'm listening to him pretty heavy. I will say, because at this point, Jack being the guy that he is, I was on the wave way, way, way early, way before it was popping.
Yeah.
But other than that, just a healthy mixture of good artists. I've stayed very consistent with Mac Miller being a heavy part of it.
Yep. Me too. I'm big into Mac.
Yeah, Post Malone, rock with him, but I give everyone their due. I'm like kind of
sure.
like I can comment on a lot of different people because I've really given their catalog a listen, and then there's not that many people that I'm like uh crazy for, like OD for. I kind of just take everyone's art for what it is, appreciate what I like about them, and disregard what I don't like. I don't know. I guess I'm biased, but I wish everyone kind of just viewed art the way I did, or music specifically, because I can appreciate some good in any kind of music. So I just kind of bounce around with everyone as much as I can.
I like that. I like that perspective. I like how that you keep calling it art too. That definitely
That's
shows
really
something.
what it is. Like you cannot box it in. Like our expectation for a certain artist and a certain song is really what kills your opinion about how it came out or what it is. Like if you don't like something, like sweet, like it's oversaturated. You're lucky. Like go find something else. You don't gotta comment. You don't gotta comment on it.
One of the things that really like grinds my gears is when I hear people say like, "Yo, that artist sucks," or "That artist is trash," or "He's not even top 10 or not top 20." Like, it's art, bro. There is no top 10. There is no numbers unless you're talking about sales and money. That's the only time there's numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Like an artist, we all probably had a different favorite artist.
Yeah.
You know, like none of them can be a top artist. They're your top artist.
Yeah.
So my favorite artists are Mac Miller, Arizona Zervis, Chris Webby, Mike, and Futuristic's my favorite. But like I have different playlists for different moods.
Yeah.
Like I have one called Hold My Chain when I'm feeling swaggy. I have one called Fuck Yes when I'm feeling like I just want to sing in the car.
Yeah.
Like there's different moods and different art for different moods. So it always changes.
I will shout out Cal Scrooby though.
Yeah.
Cal Scrooby and Oliver Tree. If you haven't listened to those two, go give them a listen. Very underrated.
Just got me on Don Tolliver. Was it? Is that his name?
Yeah, he's dope too.
Zach Creighton had me look him up, and then I showed him Cal Scrooby.
Yeah.
So we never trade.
Cal Scrooby's fire. I'd be listening to Russ, Tory Lanez, that guy, Travis Scott be in rotation.
And a little WolfPak fun fact: Tory Lanez turned down our interview like 3 times.
Yes, that is a fun fact. We always show mad love to Tory Lanez because timely correspondence between WolfPak and the Tory Lanez camp. They hit us with a soft no every time, just right away. You gotta love and appreciate that.
He read it, responded, and said no, and that's a lot of respect on that.
For any aspiring entrepreneurs or anyone involved in the game, one thing I will say is you have to find a way to go from loss to loss to loss without losing any enthusiasm. One of them, those things, it really is sending out emails. Like, if you send out like 10 to 12 emails and you're really like gunning for it, you'd be lucky to get a response in 10 emails. If someone responds and says no, type up the nicest thank you for your timely correspondence that you possibly can. If someone shows any bit of interest, always make sure that you're approaching that not overly aggressive and that you're appreciative of their time, because most emails you're not going to get a response to. Also, don't feel any saltiness if you don't get an email back. That's the world we live in. It's nothing crazy. There's usually no disrespect to it. A lot of people attach way too much emotion to these things, and it is a big appreciation if you get anything back and you're sending out a lot of emails. So don't let that shit discourage you.
Definitely. I feel like sometimes with those things too, you got to send them like a couple emails. Like you send one in July, then you send another one in September, and then you send another one in January, and then maybe in January they happen to see it. They happen to be checking their DMs at that time, and they're like, oh, like I'll just give this kid a shot. Why not? You know what
That's
I mean?
also the goal that I do when I try to reach out to people. If I see them post within 5 minutes, like story or tweet or a Instagram post, they're online. That's when you DM and a message and just say, what's up? This is who we are. Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
We have a page now where they're going to click on it and look at it and be like, you know what? Maybe I can get free product out of them, and they'll message us.
Yeah.
As a brand that's very collaborative and as two people that network as a lifestyle, I feel like you can't. We can bump our numbers up with shooting our shot and sending out DMs and sending out emails. You really never know what's going to come of it, and the worst that's going to happen is there's no response or someone says no. We need to send out more emails.
That's what I always said to Jared. I was like, just like in general, no matter what it may be, like, dude, why don't we just do it? What's the worst you say no? You're back at step one.
Trust me, right now is a perfect time for you guys. All these guys are at their house.
Yeah.
Mad bored. They go out, work out for hours, and they come in and they can't do anything. They all want to hop on podcasts right now.
Or you're planting a seed,
Yeah.
That's super important too.
Player to hop on here, they're always going to remember you boys. Then you hit them up when they're in town. Like, hey, like I'm in. Like, can I meet up with you at the game? And then boom, you got a friendship.
Yeah. No, I like that. I like that a lot. And I've always, like Jordan was saying, we talk about it all the time. Like, we got to DM more people. Just like shoot your shot. Like you said, you're either planting that seed. Yeah. You're either planting that seed where maybe the second or third time you DM them, they're like, oh wow, like this kid's DM'd me a couple times. Like he's definitely about it. Like maybe I'll give him a shot.
Yeah, and I feel like if you're approaching it in trying to figure out the best way to do it, you'll learn what the most effective methods of DMing people are too. It's such a weird world we live in. That's why I appreciate in person so much more than the virtual world to a certain extent. Because like people can feel my energy, or I'm more confident in being able to approach someone with genuine energy. When you're DMing someone, you do have to be very tactical in the way that you word things. If you're offering value, if you're not saying too much, I think sometimes a lot of people just start typing. If you can find a way to make a less is more approach, like boom, this is the value I could potentially offer. How do you feel? Those times are much more likely to respond, I feel like.
You gotta pitch it to make it more enticing to them than it is for us.
Right.
Like, what are they gonna be looking out? We can get you exposure and free product. We're gonna try to get you out there. It has nothing to do with us. And then, like, in turn, what it really does is for us is makes a network, a friend, and credibility. But that's not what we're gonna tell them. We're gonna just pitch it to them like, hey, this is all the good things it does for you, and we want to do this for you, and all that.
I mean, You're making it sound like it's some sort of scam. Like we are doing everything we're saying we're gonna do.
Exact opposite in my messages, though. I make it sound like we're not a scam. I made it sound like it now because I'm explaining my process, but it's really the opposite when you read the DMs.
And it just helps. It helps out both people. Hey, but to get their attention, you're saying, hey, this is what we can offer for you. Blah blah blah. Then by them saying, yeah, like that's awesome. I like that exposure. Blah blah blah. Now you got a friend out of it, and then okay, they get a free sweatshirt and a hat, and then you guys are like, hey, we just interviewed Tory Lanez, and then everybody, what? And then everybody goes and watches it.
That's
but
exactly
now he's got your product. You guys got a friend. You guys got credibility, and now he's like, yo, this gear's dope. He may talk to his friends. You never know. You know, that's I feel like that's a good process.
And we've been getting more and more people now because of stuff like that. Like a player will follow us and he'll like what he sees, and then in turn he goes and tells his agent that, hey, I like this page. And then his agent contacts us and says, hey, what can we do? My player really likes you guys. Can we do a partnership? Yeah. And we have I have like 5 NFL agent connections right now. I just had an email today about one because he reached out to us like, hey, I like your page. I gotta do this. I have these many players. What can we do? Like, can I get product to my players type thing?
And we are gonna catch up with Tory Lanez at some point. That's a real fact.
We're gonna interview someone on his tour and then go up to him and be like, yo, this could have been you, bro.
No, we're gonna chop it up with Tory at some point. Like, yo, you're a real one now. And you and your marketing agent.
I look forward to seeing that for sure.
For sure.
He's the man.
So one other thing I did want to bring up, you guys have a barbecue sauce, and I want to know like what your motivation behind releasing that was and how difficult that was, because I would assume.
So this is going to be a little bit more of a deflating answer to you guys than you were probably looking for. Our uncle owns a steak sauce company.
So yeah.
So he already has the whole aspect of the business down. Yeah. So what we did is we picked out flavors that we like, and we got to design the label for them, and then we got to get at a wholesale bargain price, so we can make money on it too.
Oh, that's dope.
That's dope.
So, and that's just another thing we wanted to do with him, because he's always wanted to work with us, being our uncle, and he always kind of wanted to work with him just because it's like a unique thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like the barbecue sauce is kind of like defines who we are. We try to think outside the box, and we're like, what clothing company actually brings the sauce? You know, you all say you got sauce, but we actually got the sauce. Yeah. And that's like what we really wanted to do, and just be like, we're open to all these different ideas.
That's cool. That's cool. I like that.
That's cool.
It's versatile when it comes to
I don't know if you saw recently, but we linked with the popcorn company.
I watched that video too.
Popcorn. And one has a nice little relationship with them boys, the Popcorn Boys.
Popcorn Boys?
So it's called What's Poppin' Gourmet Popcorn. They have a storefront in Buffalo, and they got a website, and they already shipped all 50 states. They launched that website like a month ago.
Wow.
That's
cool. I watched that video.
Popcorn, peaches and cream popcorn, lemonade popcorn, you know, PB&J, WolfPak popcorn, you know.
Yeah, I was watching that, and he was saying all the flavors. I was like, I'm gonna hit him up, because that sounds amazing. Like,
that's also another interview that we had that you guys gotta check out. They're really impressive, impressive guys.
Yeah, I watched that one yesterday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Do you see Sean's face when he's like talking about the popcorn on the food? And
yeah. You had all the words popping up on the screen.
What? Those are our kind of boys right there, you know?
Yeah. I get that for sure.
What's popping?
Speaking of your videos too, I think kind of getting back to the whole branding thing, I think one of the reasons you guys have gotten to the point that you are today and where you're going to go in the future is like your high level production. Do you think that plays a big big role in where you've gotten to be?
Shout out Tommy Tat one time.
Yep. Definitely
We
shout
are
out Tommy Tat.
not homies, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
We be putting Tommy to work. So he wears a lot of different hats for us, and he does a lot of our content creation. At least as far as like being behind the camera. So yeah, I mean that's it. That's a big part of the brand. It's a big part of everything that we're doing, keeping it fresh and having fun with our photo shoots is what Spencer was alluding to earlier. How they are really a blast. Occasionally we do meet people on the scene like that, but usually we're just getting like some really good people together and just having a great time doing that. And Tommy crushes it. So
Yeah.
it is definitely a big part of what we're doing, and the volume, the consistency is definitely a huge part that helps us separate with it, and
sure.
not being afraid to just be a little different and get a little weird with it for sure.
Yeah.
And like shout out Tommy again, like he just always tries to make time for us too. So
Yeah.
like we'll call him and be like, hey, we got an interview that we could have in Buffalo, but it's in North Tonawanda in 2 days. I don't know, like a Thursday night. Can you do that? And he'd be like, yeah, I'm there.
Yeah.
We could be in Rochester. He'd be like, yeah, sure, I'll be there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we can't do interviews without him. So
Right. I definitely wanted to get to Tommy in this question that I had. Shout out Tommy Tat. He has a YouTube channel. I think it's just TOMMYTETTE. Definitely check him out. He's super talented.
Oh yeah.
So kind of wrapping it up here, what's next for WolfPak? I know you guys talked about a big photo shoot that you had that you'd use for the next like 6 to 8 months or something like that.
It's definitely going to be scattered within there for a while.
Yeah.
But the next 6 months of 2020, we have it pretty mapped out as far as our product drops, how that's going to look and feel. That's super exciting. We've been very fortunate thus far this year. March, April, and May were in different aspects, but mostly revenue based, and website views are 3 biggest months in company history. We put together a pretty good plan to continue that, and maybe we project to have an even bigger second half of the year. So
That's awesome.
We have a little bit of something for everybody coming. Tommy packed up the bags and spent the weekend at my house in Buffalo, Thursday, Friday, Saturday this past weekend, and we got down to it. Got a lot of good stuff shot. So we have a pretty big hat collection coming. We have something coming right after that, some different apparel for guys and girls, and then we'll finish out the year with a few other surprises, some things that maybe aren't closed, but then we'll come heavy with the fall wintertime drop with hoodies. We will come in very, very strong with the hoodie selection, and then we'll have some beanies as well. So like that's for sure within the plans, but there's gonna be some you never knows tossed in there as well. We're gonna find out a couple things about what our WolfPak family likes and enjoys, what they buy. We're gonna have hats for everybody.
Yeah,
for sure. So it's gonna be fun.
Good stuff. Yeah, I always like to look at your page and even your website. Your website too is. I was gonna tell you it's
very
awesome.
well set up.
Very shout out my homie William Duffy. He does our website for us.
Very professional.
Thanks. I do definitely appreciate that.
It's nice when you go to a website like that and every link works, everything's clean, everything looks good. The products are easy accessible. You don't want to go somewhere and it's like a maze, because then it's like by the time you find it, you're like, fuck, I don't even want to buy it. You know what I mean? Or like if you're trying to find out about the brand, things like that. So I just think
it takes a lot for people to even click on the link to begin with. Yeah. So that's exactly what we try to do, is make it as easy as possible customer.
When will this be releasing?
Probably tomorrow.
Yeah, probably tomorrow.
Cool. So by the time this is out too, we're also going to be releasing our official WolfPak roster, which is
Nice.
pretty cool. It
Nice.
just kind of gives a rundown of basically everyone's title and kind of who does what behind the scenes and give everyone
awesome.
a little love and credit for their dedication.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
That's good.
Nice.
That's good. That's awesome.
I like that. I think that.
Show
I
love,
think.
community, and family that helps out.
Yep, and we're both wearing some unreleased hats right now.
I like that. I like the cord on top of the brim. I like that.
Those are
the rope. Got the white rope on the black hat, and then on the back we got the white snap on the black.
Yeah.
Then
That's
if you
awesome.
can see
That's
the
clean as
color
fuck.
scheme.
I like.
I
we
like
came
that
with
a
it.
lot.
I have
We came with it.
I've never seen the white beam on top of the brim. I like that a lot.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
You'll be getting my money. You'll be getting my money.
Hey, boy. Thank you.
You'll be
Give
getting
me
my
up.
That hat is dope. That hat is dope. As you can see, I got a collection of hats. Oh, I almost dropped my Red Bull.
What's up? You gotta have the wall hats. I gotta get on that.
Always got just a tack right in, put them up.
That's nice.
Yeah.
I think everyone in our suite at school did the hats on the wall like that.
You got to.
Yeah.
I think
You don't got a WolfPak hat in your wall hats.
Oh yeah, we got.
I don't know.
different hat like every day for a semester, and every single time I went to class, someone commented on it like, "Dude, a different hat today." Another one.
Yeah.
That's dope though. That's dope.
I think to be honest with you, it would be, I think a goal within the next few years would be to build a following where we can kind of have something where we release hats every 2 to 3 weeks at a certain day at a certain time, and then if you're with it, you're there. If not,
Yep.
Yeah, and everybody wears hats, and especially if the designs are there, and everybody's with the designs and things.
Everyone has their own form of hat too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Some people like flat brims. Some people like the stitch. Some people like snapbacks. All that kind of stuff. And there's so many different designs that you guys obviously know that. There's so many different designs.
A really exclusive hat a little while ago. I don't know, it was a couple years ago now, called the Knotback, and we called them the Knot Packs because pack.
Mm-hmm.
But those had strings, like shoelace strings here that you could tie.
That's dope.
And
that was my freshman year. That was my freshman year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit was tight.
Yeah, I remember because we were all down in Florida, and you had Tommy take pictures of WolfPak stuff in Florida, and I remember everyone was wearing the knotback hats. I do remember that.
Yeah, we were super excited about that because that was something that no company had.
Yeah.
We were on the wave right away. I guess they didn't really jump off as quick as we thought they were going to, but the hats that we made sold pretty quick, so that was exciting.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I had never seen anything like that. I liked it though. I liked those hats a lot.
If we dropped a WolfPak headband, would you be interested in that?
Fuck yeah.
Did you see his bro?
I got the long hair too. I can probably rock a headband.
Hell yeah. We got something for you specifically for all the homies with the flow. We have a very specific product for you in our next in a drop coming within the next few weeks.
Nice. I can't wait to check it out.
Hell yeah.
Sounds like a lot of good things coming for WolfPak.
Yes, sir. I'm excited. Thank you guys for having us.
We're excited.
Yeah, man. Again, thank you so much for your time. I know, like we were talking about how busy you guys are. I know taking an hour out of your night to have a conversation with us, that's a big deal. So I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we do appreciate it a lot. We do.
I hope we gave you guys some value. We get excited and we just be talking shit sometimes. I try to give some secrets to the sauce out if people are willing to listen and ask. So I hope you guys got something
too. We like to give the insight and the value. We don't like the podcast where you just talk and you're like you don't get anything from it. You're like, so that's what you do? Well, how did you do it?
Yeah, definitely.
No, we can tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We'll have to do that. We'll have to run this back again. Maybe give it a year or two. Let us build a little more. Let you boys build a little more, and we'll
Definitely.
hop back on it. We'll run it back.
And a bit
Definitely.
I can help you guys with is whenever you guys are looking for someone to hop on, I could probably help you get someone cool.
Hey, I really appreciate that. Yeah, I'm definitely. Yeah, that would
We
be
appreciate it.
amazing.
I mean, we're obviously going to support you guys too. You guys are our boys. The brand's awesome, and we're going to be there. We've been there, so why not?
Yo, we're gonna get your drip right by the end of 2020 if your eyes are open and you're ready for it.
Oh my, door's open. I got the push notifications now.
Let's get it. Let's get it. That's the real one.
But I'm not I got the push notifications on for every clothing brand that I want because I know that stuff sells out. Like,
are you like a real clothing dude then?
huh?
Are you like a real clothing dude then?
Yeah, big.
Okay, you're like into like streetwear brands and like the whole fashion culture.
Oh, very, very.
That's super dope.
I got a lot of drip. I love the streetwear and everything.
Yeah.
That's super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm huge.
A lot of people are it's definitely becoming like a societal norm, especially for the younger generation. For like that, maybe it always was. I don't know, but like I feel like it's becoming more and more normalized. That culture. So like I forgot where I was gonna go with it, but it's push note. If you got push notifications on, you're a real one. That's what I was gonna say. Yeah. So that's super dope.
We both have, because like you never know when, like we want to know when you drop. So like if we wanted to pick something up, we're gonna have the opportunity to do that.
What are some of your favorite brands? Both of you guys. I'm just curious.
I wear a lot of Nike. I wear Against All Odds. Have you heard of Against All Odds?
Yeah.
I wear a lot of Against All Odds kind of things from their store. I wear a lot of Supreme, Babe, a lot of those kind of brands. A lot of the streetwear brands that are more versatile in their looks. Like I don't usually go for the plain things. Like I like some things that are plain, but I like busy things.
You like the abstract.
I like being elaborate and like outgoing because that's how I am as a person. Like I've always been outgoing, fun, this and that. So like I try to wear what I am because a lot of people just when they look at you, they're like, "Wow, this kid's wearing an all highlighted Nike tech suit." Like this kid's bright, and I'm just like, "Hey, what's up, bro?" And it's like, "Oh yeah, he's there, he's out there."
Standout look. I like that.
I love that.
I get that from like Jordan specifically is one of the people that I know that like they dress how like to match their personality.
Yeah, every day I critique my outfits. I asked Jared, I've never walked out of my room not either matching or wearing something. Like there was one time I was walking out, I was like, Jared, does this look good? And he's like, yeah, it's not bad. And I go, nah, you don't like it. And I took it off.
I feel like Sean and I are rarely ever matching our own clothes.
Really?
I don't think we do it on purpose, but what Sean thinks is cool doesn't match at all. And that's his own swag, though.
That's part of the drip.
Absolutely.
The more abstract it is, that's art.
Yo.
Oh, for sure.
Pete, can you guys see what I'm rocking right now?
I love that shirt. I saw it in the beginning of the podcast. I love that shirt.
That shit is gas.
That shit is gas. I love that shirt. Not a lot of
hype about it.
Yeah, I got the WolfPak email confirmation from your order. So I knew.
Yeah, but it came in today.
That's awesome, though.
That's awesome.
That's fucking dope, though. I would be interested in talking to you more off camera about that. I could plug some brands in, vice versa. I like to stay up on it and see what people are interested in and shop.
Definitely.
Yeah. So just to close it out, we just appreciate you guys coming on, everything like that, and obviously we're gonna keep up on the brand, and we'll post a link to your website and the Twitter in the description so that everybody can just quick click. Go over there, maybe give you guys a follow, check out some other things, past clothing line drops and everything, and make sure they keep up on date and everything like that. So
I'll vocalize this thought right now too. I appreciate all of that. And this is a shout out to you boys for having us, and also because I like the name of your podcast a lot. Let's do a no hard feelings discount code, and we'll plug it in for like 20% or something like that. plug that into like the link and like whatever you're sharing it on. Let your boys know whatever it is. Just show them mutual love. But I think that's a very cool name, and it just sounds like a hard code too.
Yeah.
Let's rock with that, and appreciate y'all having us on.
Yeah, again, if it wasn't clear from the past hour, these guys are real, they're about it, and they're behind the message that they're sending through their clothes. So definitely check them out. Yeah, WolfPak.
Awesome. Much love.